Hoople's cat. I don't do early mornings well. This video is not really going to have much content at all from the 2-day conference course I just did from the Canadian Nuclear Society to certify me in Nuclear 101. And I'm just going to cover up my name. Hoople's cat. I got my certificate! So what I'm going to do, this video is just basically me wandering around my neighbourhood going to the conference and coming back from the conference, showing you a bit of transport around Toronto. It's kind of an interesting way of seeing how I got there and what I did, and also featuring some of my food that I ate, and it was great food. It's going to be both 2 days, some rambling thoughts going on, but then what I'm going to do next week is I'm actually going to put up a series of videos based upon the conference material, which was actually a conference with lectures and stuff like that, but it's also a certification course, and it's got a lot of interesting stuff in it. It was extremely biased towards the nuclear power industry, but I expected that. But there were a few tidbits in there that I think you guys might enjoy, and quite a few things I didn't actually know, and I know quite a bit about nuclear power. I grew up near Windscale, now called Sellafield in the United Kingdom, and you can look that up, and I visited several nuclear power stations in my past, and I've done a little bit of physics at school and stuff like that. So yeah, so sit back, grab a coffee, vegan snack, enjoy this rambling around, quite a long video about my commuting in Toronto. It's basically about commuting in Toronto. Enjoy! Hoople's cat. 5 AM. I've had very little sleep and I have to leave. Dashing along the road, walking to the GoTrain. Yep, gotta get there in about 22 minutes. I hate to be a commuter. Always stop for ducks. Well, the day shoes are breaking. My pack is very good, and now my second week of use, quite happy with it. Tend to get out walking more with it in a loaded capacity to practice for my kayak trip and also to get generally fit. And it's kind of a fun trip down here. Saw one person getting into the car, saw the duck, saw a rabbit, and I think I saw a probable squirrel, but that was about it. But right here on the trail I've actually seen a pack of 4 coyotes hunting in the winter. Very eerie. Coast the river and freezes up solid for most of the winter. But the council keeps this path open all year round. What with the lights are blazing, the traffic noise in the background, it's hard to picture what it would be like in top grid down without gasoline. A lot quieter, quite spooky. When I get down, it's about the time of day I'm getting up, crack of dawn. Alright, I have to press on or I'll miss the train. Well, I arrived with 9 minutes to spare. Not bad, nice little walk that, about a mile. And now I get on the GoTrain. Regular viewers have seen me on the GoTrain before. Then I'm going to have something special. I'm going on the up train to the airport. And then I have about another mile walk. So let's see what we see. Yet another local river. This one I didn't know existed. Well, I'm now on the skywalk trying to find the train to the airport. It's been a long walk. Well, I made it. So I got 10 minutes and our latest adventure, our exciting adventure, a fast train service to the airport. So there's no seats that I can see, and it's about half a kilometre, half a mile from where you get off the GoTrain to actually get here. So it's not exactly convenient, especially if you had a ton of luggage to take to the airport. And you also have very poor signage, which is typical in Canada. And here it is.
approaching Toronto Pearson International Airport, where this service ends and all passengers must disembark. We will be pulling...
Well, it's the second day and I'm quite puzzled to be up this early. It's still dark out. Anyway, we better get going, and Mr. Bear's been agitated by my presence. Hello, Mr. Bear. Bye, say goodbye, Becky. Well, it's got that lovely pre-dawn stillness, eh? Birds are getting ready to get up. I'm getting ready to get up, but I'm actually moving forward. So the impressions of the first day are quite positive. Both the lecturers were good. I didn't actually film them. I will do some filming today, I think. I feel more confident today to do that. The morning lecture was a little boring, but very intellectually challenging and interesting stuff. But a lot of it was basic physics and biology, which I don't really need, but it's actually kind of fun to have the refresher. And the afternoon was a much better speaker, but his stuff was much more modern, let's put it that way. More about his family and more of the bells and whistles and tricks of a modern speaker. But it was okay. The first impression I have is that, wow, this was not what I expected. I expected this to be a bunch of industry insiders and get a load of free stuff. I haven't got any free stuff, but the price was well worth it. It's basically working out to be about $420 Canadian for the 2 days. But I get breakfast and lunch and a big binder for the days. And in terms of Canadian pricing, that's not bad. You know, this is only about 35-40 people in the group. I also didn't realise that it's actually a course. And I actually get a certificate today, apparently, which is kind of exciting. So out of the students who were there, so about half of them are industry insiders, mostly kind of minor workers, both male and female, in various branches of their company's nuclear power division. Which wasn't a surprise, particularly to me. That's a pretty solid white group. Pretty solid, pretty obvious. Pretty obviously half and half male female as well. The other half of the students pretty much are all First Nations. So what I didn't realise, and you know, because you don't pay attention, right? We don't pay attention, is that the Canadian government is going to bury our long-lasting, most corrupted nuclear waste underground. That was interesting. That's the free paper delivery guy, just about turned 5 in the morning, blasting his stereo from his car in a residential neighbourhood. I'd kill him if I lived here. Anyway, so they're building a repository underground to store very high-level nuclear waste, which is a good idea because they've been producing it for years now with nowhere to store it, and quite a few countries are in that position, which is evil, really. So there's 3 geographical areas left in Canada, and there's 5 First Nations communities involved. So needless to say, both the private companies who are going to make a massive amount of money over the storage and the federal government are paying for the First Nations to do loads and loads of nuclear waste training, nuclear power training. And I think that's a good thing, don't get me wrong on that. But what I think is kind of crazy is the fact that out of all the aspects of nuclear power that I'm aware of, deep geological storage is probably the best and safest and least controversial. Of course, nobody wants it in their neighbourhood because they don't understand how deep these things are. You know, half a mile to 1 mile down in bedrock that hasn't moved for many years. Yeah, so that was good to see that private companies and the government are investing in letting the First Nations groups who are fighting each other for the right to have this depository on their lands, because it's going to be a huge, big amount of jobs, right? Rail lines are going to have to be built. I mean, this facility is going to be colossal and going to need a lot of work, and it's going to mean a lot of money for the local community that's fortunate to have it. But it still doesn't take away the actual problem with nuclear power, which is that with having byproducts that are toxic to human health for up to 20,000 years. So the majority of this course is teaching us how to combat people who say nuclear power is bad and should be got rid of. And to some degree it's somewhat effective in delivering that message. So do you support nuclear power or are you against it? Or do you not care either way? More to come. A couple of updates from yesterday's walk. First thing is the bag is still working great. Really like it, comfortable. It's got a big thick file in it and all of my current EDC gear. So I was very pleased with that. The other thing is looking at the video from yesterday, going to the conference, I'm really short of breath. I think there's two factors behind that. One, I am actually chronically out of shape. Major issue. The other one is that I was walking at about this speed. Yeah, it's fairly hilly, and I think I overdid that. I certainly was sweating as well. Anyway, today's promising to be a much warmer day, but it's also promising to be a much wetter day. So maybe I'll catch a dramatic storm for you guys. Toodles. So day 2 sees me knowing the journey there now, so I can be much more relaxed and enjoy nature's pleasant noises and sounds in this pre-dawn moment. So the train leaves at 5:33 and here we are at 5:28. Not a soul in sight. What is the point in having service stations that aren't open to meet the needs of the customers getting the actual trains? See? Ridiculous. Because Toronto's grown in complexity and size, it's actually easier for me to go to the airport and then get the train back to the middle of downtown and then get the train back to the north. Kind of crazy, but that's the way it is. So let's have a little walk through, shall we? So this is Terminal 1 at Pearson International Airport, and I'm on the 3rd level, which is departure. So I'm going to go down and get the train home. Pro tip, if you're ever at the airport at Toronto and you've got a few hours to kill, go to Terminal 3. If you're at Terminal 1, there's actually a train that takes you there, free one, and go to the Sheraton. I haven't been to the Alt, but go to the Sheraton. It's just outside by tunnel from the arrivals, and you can actually have a nice, reasonably sort of priced beer and enjoy yourself. Anyway, I'm heading home. 2 days of conference. Wasn't a bad conference. Obviously very pro-nuclear. Excellent vegan food. Hurry pilot, they're waiting for you.
said she got it when she went home. It's like fan of the pregnancy. This summer was Australia. We're going to Australia. They travel all over the world and stuff.
So this is where you get the free train to Terminal 3. But I'm going on the UpExpress. This is the airport. I'm going to Union. Oh, here we go. Delay.
Are you all together?
Where's the Presto?
But you've been back at it again.
9 minutes. I'll spare you the full tour. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little tour around. And if I get excited, I'll give you a tour between the UpExpress station and the Go station, which is about half a kilometre. Incredibly inconvenient if you're trying to use the Go or the TTC to actually interconnect with this to go on holiday with lots of luggage. Right, Toronto. Censored.
Allez,
That's it. 40 minutes for the train.